If you're looking to lose weight, should you be including eggs into your diet in order to achieve your goals? I'm breaking down all the deets on whether or not eggs help you to achieve fat burning in today's video. Alright guys, if you're new to my channel and you don't know who I am, my name's Autumn and I'm a certified clinical nutritionist with my master's nutrition human performance. On my channel, I'm typically talking about the science-backed and holistic methods that you can use in order to achieve your wellness dreams. So if you have a wellness goal in mind, make sure you subscribe. Now, before you even consider using eggs in your diet for your weight loss goals, you might be wondering if it's even good for your heart health. One of the main concerns a lot of the AM peeps or my clients will bring up when they start to discuss using eggs in their diet for weight loss is the concern around cholesterol. I mean, eggs have a higher cholesterol count, so does that mean that you shouldn't have them for your heart health? Here's the thing you need to keep in mind. Cholesterol in your food is completely different than the cholesterol in your blood. The cholesterol in your blood is packaged and formed by the liver. This is a really tightly regulated system where if you have more cholesterol available, then your liver will just automatically start to decrease production. Or on the flip side, because cholesterol is a very necessary part of life, the liver will also start to increase production if necessary. And that's why in the 2015 dietary guidelines for Americans, they actually completely removed that restriction on cholesterol. It previously was 300 milligrams per day, now there's none. Interestingly enough, most people and a lot of doctors don't even know that. But when they were trying to make these guidelines, it turns out when they actually assessed the research, there was really no backing to this claim that higher amounts of cholesterol-rich foods cause higher cholesterol in the body, nor was there really any backing that higher cholesterol foods cause heart disease. So after a lot of years of having this recommendation, the USDA, which mind you is usually very slow to react anyway, completely removed that cholesterol recommendation. And in fact, there actually are a lot of other tests that you could check out that will actually help to determine your risk for heart disease way better than cholesterol, and specifically LDL cholesterol. I have a whole video about it that you can check out right here. And now that we have that cleared up, let's talk about what we're here for, which is eggs and weight loss. Do eggs help with weight loss or do they hinder it? Now let's look at the specifics of what eggs actually contain. Now, broadly speaking, one cooked egg has about a half gram of carbohydrate, 6 grams of protein, and roughly 4.5 grams of fat. And that's in just one egg. So if you're to have 2 to 3 eggs, that's ranging anywhere between 12 to 18 grams of protein just from the egg itself. And protein specifically, as well as fat, are both essential to helping you achieve your weight loss goals. The main reason why is because protein helps with achieving satiety, which is that sense of feeling satiated or full. If you don't feel satiated, that can lead to those dips in blood glucose and therefore spur sugar cravings that will then increase insulin, increase that storing mode, and throw you out of fat burning. So we really want to make sure that you are satiated and not eating between those meals. And protein plays a really big role in that sense of satiety by causing the body to secrete something called peptide YY. This, along with fat causing the secretion of CCK or cholecystokinin, causes the body to feel satiated and therefore stop those cravings that are working against your wellness goals. And this is why it's extremely important to have the whole egg and not just the egg whites. When you have just the egg whites, you're completely missing out on the fat portion. And we really need to make sure we have both that CCK and peptide YY from the fat and the protein in order to achieve satiety. Now, outside of things we typically talk about with that fat and protein, there's also something really unique to eggs that's worth mentioning. Eggs are a really big source of something called choline. Choline is technically made in really small amounts by the body, but because it's not enough to actually help with our bodily functions, choline is considered an essential nutrient, which means that we have to have it from our diet. Not only is choline essential for neurological function, which is why it's so important and often emphasized with pregnant women that they need to be taking either choline supplements or choline-enriched foods like eggs, but choline is also an essential part of beta-oxidation, or being able to actually use fat as fuel, aka fat burning. In fact, it's so important that we actually need a relatively high amount of it, and depending on your age, your sex, or whether or not you're pregnant, you'll need anywhere between 400 to 550 milligrams. And to put this into perspective, just one egg contains around 150 milligrams of choline. Now, if you're having a 2-egg scramble for your breakfast, then you're already clocking in at over half the amount of choline just from that one meal that you need in a day. Now, there are some plant-based foods that also contain choline, but it's at a much lower level. So that is why it's essential, if you are following a plant-based or vegan diet, that you are very aware of what you're eating and getting enough of the nutrients that your body needs. For example, a half cup of kidney beans contains around 45 milligrams of choline, and a half cup of cauliflower comes in at roughly 24 milligrams of choline. In fact, this concern is a really big one for the plant-based diets, as well as just for that neuronal function. And what's a little scary is that there are some databases, in fact most databases, that don't even calculate choline in your food intake. That's why the BMJ, or the British Medical Journal, which is a really prestigious journal, in 2019 wrote an article about the rising concerns about choline deficiency because of the lack of awareness and the fact that there's a huge shift over to plant-based diets. Like I mentioned, there's a way to do it with plant-based diets, but if you don't even have the mechanisms of calculating choline, that can lead to some tricky situations when it comes to deficiency. Plus, choline is a very important part of liver detoxification, as well as the developing brain for a baby. Now, going back to why this really matters for weight loss. Remember how I mentioned that choline is essential for actually being able to use fat as fuel, or aka fat burning? Now, this is most immediately evidenced by the fact that if you have a choline deficiency, one of the main symptoms of it is fatty liver disease, or non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And that's because choline is needed in order to break down that fat that is residing around the liver. In fact, when it comes to choline deficiency, even just a few days of adding in choline-rich foods back into the diet can completely resolve that non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. Now, one very small study even studied the effect on body fat percentage when it comes to choline. It found that the higher intake of choline actually helps with decreasing body fat percentage in athletes when compared to the placebo group that didn't have that higher amount of choline. It's very important to note that this was a very small study, but it is a nod to what we already know about choline and its ability to help convert fat into fuel. And of course, just eating high amounts of choline is not going to be the thing in order to achieve your wellness or weight loss goals. So if you are looking to lose weight, I highly recommend that you check out my 20 ways to lose belly fat right here. Also, if you're new to my channel and you love the science-backed information, make sure you subscribe right here. Come out with new videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Alright guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in my next video.